Short video today just to show you progress on the Revell Star Destroyer, the build and play Star Destroyer. We got it all primered up and all that, and so it's set overnight to dry. And I painted the trenches already with the oversprays of white to get it to my desired effect, and it still shows through a little bit of gray. I know it's hard to tell on these small trenches, but it still shows through pretty good. The back is already painted up and all ready to go. That's probably going to be the only area that I actually do any weathering with some pastel chalks on it, just to give it a little bit more use, since that's the business end of deals. And just to highlight a little bit of the piping and stuff they got on there, but no, not real heavy. I don't want this to look like a real heavy weathered model and stuff. But I got that all primered up. I got my fibers run all the way through the neck now for the bridge, and those won't get clipped off till after the final clear coat, the dull coat, after everything's painted up white and everything, and I'm satisfied. Then those will get clipped off. The rest of the fibers I'll install after I'm done painting everything complete, and that'll just run through there. Put them in glue and let them sit for a couple days, and then snip off the ends and go from there. Something I wanted to show you, a little trick that I've done through the years with weathering and painting and stuff. I've been in the hobby for a lot of years. From the time I was a kid, I'm pretty old now. So I've probably been in the hobby a good, I'd say 45 years. And I still remember the very first model kit I built. It was the Red Baron with the chrome helmet on it, the Roadster with the chrome helmet deal. And I'll never forget, Dad gave me a razor blade. Back then they had straight edge razor blades, and you get a razor blade to trim the flash off parts and stuff. And I didn't know any better. I was probably about 11, 12 years old, and I sliced my finger pretty good, my thumb. So I was cutting towards my hand fingers instead of away. So yeah, I remember crying like a baby and stuff, and whining, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. It was a pretty good cut and stuff, but it healed up, and I learned a lesson. So but one little trick I picked up through the years, I used to do model railroading quite a bit. I had a couple HO layouts. I worked with HO and 3. Did a lot of scratch building. That's where I pick up scratch building and weathering from and all that. And instead of taking time masking and painting or painting by hand and being real careful and stuff, I use this on quite a few models where I want to bring out some highlighted panels and stuff. I pick up these artists colored pencils at Hobby Lobby. They're not the kids grade. They're artist grade and stuff for doing like drawings and colors and stuff like that. And they're not lead. They're almost like a paint when they go on and stuff. So that's what I use to pick out my different panels. Just a random effect I pick out here and there. I didn't want to go overboard, but once I start spraying my coats of white, just real light coats, dusting it basically, those will kind of pop through the white, a little bit different, darker areas to give it a little bit more character and stuff. So that's what I use. I just pick out a panel, color it in. It takes a couple seconds. I did all these probably in about 10-15 minutes. I just picked out random and stuff. And I'm going to do the same thing on the top. And then after that's done, I usually take like a paper towel and, anything, Kleenex, paper towel, tissue. I just go over it to get off any excess, like, powder or residue or something like that. It adheres pretty well. The paint will go over that, and, it won't cause the paint, the overcoats to peel off or nothing. It's pretty much permanent stuff. I think I used it on... years ago, I built that Romulan warbird with all the gap issues, and I used that to highlight all those panel lines on top, like the wing design or the bird design or whatever. That was like little raised panel lines, and I used that to kind of highlight it like the box art showed and stuff, and it worked out pretty good. So I used this quite a bit on different models and stuff to bring out different panels and stuff, the effects. So just wanted to share that with you guys, and before I went on too much further, it's just another little trick, so you may want to try out and all that. So, and being that this is a short video talking about details and stuff on models, I haven't done recently anything much, but I built my share of model cars and all that, and model ships. I'll do a couple videos on a couple model ships I built this recent year. But I just want to show you something. I'm in auto racing, mainly NASCAR. I do go to a race once a year up in Chicago at Chicagoland Speedway. A couple of years ago, I got to meet Richard Petty, who I was a fan of when I was growing up when he was still racing, and that was real exciting. And all that, got to go in the pits. I actually won a special VIP pit tour, which they don't sell tickets for. You got to be with a group, but it was from Sprint Phone Network. And that was pretty cool. Even though I'm an adult and stuff, I was like a little kid when I met him and stuff. Got my picture with him and autograph and stuff. That's why you see my profile photo. I'm standing next to Dale Jr.'s car in the pits at one particular race. But this is a little sprint car I built. I do a lot of fishing, so I wanted to build a little Bass Pro Shop sprint car. And just to add a detail, it's basically out of box. And the only thing I had to make it look more realistic, you'll notice up here there's some struts that are actually on the real cars. They're positioned in the right places on top, and then again on the underside you'll pick them up and on the left side of the vehicle. That just adds a little bit more realism to a model, makes it look more realistic if you're going to do photos of it or something. And it just a little easy detail. Drill a couple wires, a couple holes, and I use piano wire. I pick it up at my local Ace Hardware. They sell it there, all different diameters and stuff. And I kind of get just the size that kind of matches the scale of what I'm doing and everything. And I just go from there and stuff. And it adds a lot more interest to them rather than looking at something, well, it's not really real because they should have some supports here or there and stuff. And I just think it adds a whole bunch. But it doesn't take much to take a model out of the box and add a little bit of detail and make it look more realistic. I know in the past a lot of them I got packed away, but I used to build top fuel dragsters, and I used to call the ignition and fuel lines and everything with tiny wire you can get at hobby shops and stuff for that purpose. And sometimes it's tedious, but in the end it makes it look a lot cooler and stuff. So I just thought I'd share this with the end of this video since it was a short one and everything. And hope you guys are picking up on some of the techniques, and maybe some of them are helpful and useful to others. And if not, hope you're enjoying the videos and everything on the build of the Star Destroyer. I'm having fun building it, and I'm going to go back to that real quick before we call this a video, and go over one thing. For a lot of people that question the panel lines are too heavy, I don't think they're that bad. Once you start laying primer on it and stuff, they get a lot finer. It's the shiny plastic sometimes exaggerates things more before you start painting it, and especially when you tone it down with flats and everything. It really makes things look more like they should be there, and they are the right scale. They're not really that deep as they look when you take the parts out of the box for the first time and look at it and put it together, and it's like, wow, those panel lines are awful. They're actually pretty much in scale. So and the Star Destroyer did have panel lines on it, and I think that Zvezda kit, a lot of guys out there complaining they wish they had panel lines like the small Revell kit does. So actually it's not a bad kit, and it's been a lot of fun working on it so far, and I can't wait to get all the fibers installed and have her closed up, get the base done, and see what it's like all up and everything. So I know I got a lot of holes, and once I'm done painting, I got to go through with my pin vise and poke any holes that got paint in them and stuff, make sure I can get my fibers through. So till the next video, you guys have a good one. Happy modeling, and like I said, any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them, and hope you like the videos and hit that like button, and hope you can subscribe too. So in the future we'll have a lot more after this is done. Thanks a lot and have a good one. Take care. Bye.